Hey, Riding Side Saddle, it's Lisa.
And Tammy.
Here we are in season 5, just knocking it out.
Plowing through.
Indeed we are.
I took my grandson Parker to a harvest fest because it's October in Wisconsin, and he didn't even realize he's turning into a farmer before my very eyes.
He plowed it right through, didn't he?
Well, yeah. Until
he was on a tractor and plow?
Until I pointed it out.
And he got mad.
And he got a little mad. But you know.
Well, whatever.
It's okay.
Whatever. So tonight we really didn't have like something.
We don't have any guests lined up.
No.
So we thought we
didn't have a particular topic necessarily set up either until we started chatting tonight.
Yeah, right. The planning session
where
all the good things happen.
It's just like marvelous. It's like a mad scientist type of situation. I'm like putting my hands
like
together
magic.
So we were chatting tonight just about all the things that cousins chat about, husbands and irritabilities and like we were
jobs,
sharing stories about like how independent we are as women, right? As middle-aged women. And when we have some shit we need to get done, if you're not going to help me do it,
I'll do it myself.
You're
not going to like how I do it, but it'll get done.
I'm going to frickin' do this myself. You have a couple of choices here to make there, buddy boy, right? Either you can help me and you can have some control about how this thing goes, or I'm just going to...
I will find a screwdriver and a hammer and I'll do it myself.
A YouTube video?
Yep.
It's a dangerous concoction.
It is. I can do anything. I'm convinced.
That's
with
right.
YouTube videos.
That's right. Well, they have them for everything.
Right.
Until
the car breaks.
That. So that's where
I'm stuck.
We come to a screeching halt on the side of the highway.
Yeah.
With bad smells coming out of the engine.
Gosh.
And that actually is one of the things that had occurred recently in my household to my daughter Deidre.
Yeah.
Where she was driving down the highway. She had both of the kids strapped in the back seat and her car died.
Oh gosh. I know that feeling. It's so horrible.
It is horrible because first off, you don't know necessarily what is happening, what's going on. It's, completely out of the blue. It's not like you intended or had a plan for it.
Right.
For yourself. And then you have
the
two
kids
babies in the back seat.
And you're worried about all of the money you're going to have to spend to fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like immediately in a flash that happens.
Yeah. There's a big giant question mark.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so this isn't a small thing. Like my vehicle is literally dead.
Right.
And I'm having to coast to the side of the road on a highway.
I've been there.
Right.
It's not because I ran out of gas.
No.
Right.
No.
Because I've done that too.
I don't want to jinx that, but I have not done that ever.
Well, I had vehicles where the gas gauge wasn't working. So I just had not calculated how many miles I had driven on that tank of gas. It's not because I couldn't read the gas gauge. It just was broken.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
That sounds like a terrible experience.
Couple times.
Oh my gosh.
Different cars. I didn't even own them both. One my parents owned and one I owned.
That sounds like a really terrible experience.
It was stressful. Yeah. Anyway,
Deidre,
we're talking about a situation worse than you've run out of gas.
So Deidre made her way with her children safely. That was
the
priority
first
number
issue.
one,
Yeah.
right? To be able to figure out how to get everybody off the road and safely and get the vehicle towed and all of that stuff, which is the crisis,
For sure.
phase of that.
Once that's managed, then you can figure out what's really going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is what she tried to do. And that's where things started to fall apart.
Oh.
So this aspect of, listen, if you can't help me, I'm just going to help myself type of mentality that I have often and display as necessary to get done what I need to get done. literally, that does not necessarily
It
equate
doesn't always work.
in the realm of things like auto repair.
Right.
So she, the tow person had identified that, knowing this make and model, this manufacturer, you may be in a situation where you have some safety recalls that you're trying to
that has caused her car to be dead on the side of the road.
Exactly.
Oh.
And
because she bought the car used. It was not an original purchase from the dealer.
Probably about 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
This was not a new car. She purchased it used from a used car lot or
so not
company.
A dealer, not a
Correct.
Manufacturer dealer.
Nope. It was a third party type of used car dealership. And man, she has had trouble with this car
since she bought it.
Oh my gosh. At one point I was driving her car. I don't know what I was doing, but I had Malachi in the back seat and Liz was with me, my younger daughter, and we were turning on an entrance ramp, and you know how sometimes they really make
a sharp turn,
a really significant turn,
hard right,
literally just clunk. Like I just hear clunk in the front end.
Oh gosh.
And I'm like, all right, so I'm going 35 or 40 right around this corner, and I don't know that I'm going to make it out onto the freeway.
Oh gosh.
Thankfully I did, and everything was fine. But excuse me, to that point, we ended up making it on the freeway, and everything was fine. But there were problems with the alignment and things with the front. I don't know. I'm not saying the right thing.
I don't know.
The front axle sounds appropriate to me. I don't know anything about vehicles.
Right.
I know there are many women who do, and I am not one of those women. No. But I do know when a big clunk in the front end happens,
is not a good
something's
thing.
Wrong. So we had, alignment stuff taken care of on the car throughout the years, and she's had to manage all of that. But this was something different, like driving down the freeway and your vehicle just stops running. Anyway, the tow guy said you might have some safety recalls. Okay, so
she calls the manufacturer.
Yeah, rather than like sending this thing that is literally not running at this point, right? The engine is like done
dead.
For.
Yeah.
She calls the manufacturer and starts, asking some questions. And the manufacturer, now Deidre is my daughter, right? Mm-hmm. So she does not have a good foundation of automotive
stuff.
Yeah. I wasn't there to hear the conversation. I don't know exactly how it went, but she ended that conversation by saying, well, I'm pretty much screwed. I am completely out of luck.
Whatever the problem is, they're not fixing it.
The call center person basically said, well, there's been some safety recalls, 4 of them to be exact. But you should have been receiving those notifications throughout,
as they came
number
out.
Of years.
Yeah.
Right. And the person on the other end of the phone in the call center started providing dates and saying, well, this is when this went out and this is when that. And Deidre said, well, listen, I didn't even own the car at that point in time.
Right.
So whomever you sent this to was the first original owner.
And they didn't take care of it.
Right. And here I sit.
Right.
I didn't know. I purchased the car. I didn't know that there were safety
outstanding recalls. Yeah.
And she left that conversation being like, okay, so I'm going to have to send this to, a scrapyard.
Oh, gosh.
And get a new car. And she owes money on it still.
Oh, gosh.
Right. She was completely upside down then. And I don't know, that just did not sit right with me. I did a little bit of poking around and investigating.
To the Google machine.
That's exactly it, right? I was a quick Google search to find out that safety recalls are not it is required.
Right. It's not something they could say, well, we did that then, but not anymore.
Exactly. By law, they have to maintain it as long as the vehicle's first sale date is within 15 years. So as long as you, the car is within 15 years of the first purchase date, by law, they have to repair these safety
Wow.
recalls.
Wow.
However, here's the problem, right? She calls, gets a full rigmarole.
Yeah.
Recognizing that she does
Straight
not
up,
have...
no, we're not doing
Yeah,
it.
she does not have all of her information. She's calling in, doesn't, has to rely on the information that she's been provided.
By the manufacturer. By the call center, not
That's right.
anybody else.
That's right. And I said, hold the bus a minute. Like, that does not correlate with what I've found online.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started talking to Scott about it, my husband, and then he called.
Oh.
Then it's a full different story, right?
Really?
Right. It's a full different story. And it leads me to believe that, and I've had this situation occur for myself specifically.
Yep.
That depending on what, type of gender you are,
yes,
may dictate how much of a runaround you get with these types of things.
Yeah. When you are a woman in guy world, you get the runaround.
Yes.
It makes Josh crazy when I say stuff like that because he doesn't believe it's true. I did not have something quite that severe. I did have, I bought a brand new car, drove it off the showroom floor.
No miles.
Right.
Freaking new.
It was brand new.
Yeah.
Bring it in sometime later for oil change and tire rotation. It's the first one that I'm getting.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people who are, to the mile on their rotation.
Not either. Mm-hmm.
I generally don't go, 10,000 miles over, but I'm, ish.
Yes.
I'm really in the ish. So I took it back to the dealer to get all this work done, right? Maintenance done. And the guy comes to the window and he starts yelling at me about how I'm wrecking my brand new car because I haven't been in sooner. Now, before I decided when I would go in, I actually did read the owner's manual to find out when am I supposed to go in. This was about the time when the manufacturers had changed the recommendation from every 3,000 miles to every 6,000 miles.
Yep.
I am not a grease monkey. I don't know anything about cars, really. But I know I can read that book.
Right.
And if they tell me X, then I believe X to be true.
Mm-hmm.
There might be people in the automotive field who believe that book is set out to make you fail. I don't know. I just know I've got a book.
Right. This is my source of information.
Exactly. So this guy's yelling at me how I'm wrecking my car. It's only 6,000 miles old and you're already wrecking it. You should have been in here. You should have been in here twice already. And he's really reading me the riot act. And then I got mad. It's like, listen, pal, I don't know anything about what you just said, but I know I've got a book that says 6,000 miles. I know I have a light that comes on in my car when it says I need an oil change. And that was at 6,000 miles. So I'm in here at 6,000 miles. I think I'm following what the manufacturer said to do. It sounds to me like either A, you have information I don't have, or B, you are trying to make me spend more money.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm not happy about this.
Right.
And I really don't like the way you're talking to me. So until I have other information, I'm going to follow the manufacturer's instructions, which is 6,000 miles. So if you could please just change my dang oil already.
No kidding.
Now I need my tires rotated. I'm already
hot. Hot. Woo!
Because
I'm hot-ish.
Yeah. I'm more than ish. I'm past ish.
I'm fucking pissed-ish.
Because what I also... I'm pissed-ish. I'm straight up pissed, actually. What I know about tires is you're supposed to rotate them every 6,000 miles. To me, that means every time I get my oil changed, you should rotate your tires.
Right.
So I'm doing it all at one time. A different guy comes to the window, tells me they can't change my tires, can't rotate the tires. I said, what do you mean you can't rotate my tires? That's what you do here. And he says, well, see, the problem is you didn't buy those tires here, so we can't rotate them. I said, are you kidding me? I didn't buy the tires here. The tires came with the car. What do you mean I didn't buy the tires here? And what difference does it make where I bought the tires? There are tires on the vehicle that need to be rotated. You've got my car in a lift. Just rotate the goddamn tires. I don't understand why this is a problem.
Oh, my word.
Well, ma'am, I'm sorry, but I'm just like, I don't want to, I cannot talk to you. Get your manager. Mm-hmm. Just get your manager. This doesn't make any sense. It really does not make any sense. And I'm beyond angry.
Mm-hmm.
Comes back a few minutes later. We can rotate your tires. You're damn right you can rotate my tires.
What in the
What
hell?
kind of an idiot? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
And you were at the dealership?
I was at the dealership.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if this kid just, and he was a kid, I don't know if he just like, his first day on the job. Yeah. I don't know, but it felt like I'm getting the runaround hard.
Well, and that's the second person who gave you grief that day.
Yes.
So
yes, exactly.
Understandably.
For sure.
It had you up in arms.
Right. So, I mean, in that case, it was obviously so ridiculous.
Right.
You can't rotate my tires. I don't care if I built them myself. Rotate the damn tires. Seriously, who cares where they came from? Rotate the suckers.
Right.
I know you got the little screw thing. Just, I know you have that thing. Just do it. So not as serious as Deidre, where like it was. I mean, it was not, thousands of dollars worth of work to be done. It was more frustration than work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But the level of frustration is the same, right?
Yes.
It is.
Why do I have to fight about this? This is literally what you do here. I'm in the service garage. This is what you do. Every day, multiple times a day. Why do I have to fight about it?
So here's the frustration from my perspective. And I don't want to jump onto the bandwagon of like, we are like, women have it so unfair, right? And just like, harp all over that, but I truly
I'm a little feisty. I might be on that bandwagon.
I see that. I truly feel that when you are female, you have to ensure that you have more than enough information to back up any type of information that you're expressing.
Yes.
A concern,
yes.
a belief, any of those things, in order for somebody to consider what you're having to say,
right,
as opposed to poo-pooing you.
Right.
Which is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It is. I feel like even when you have enough information, that sometimes they still poo-poo and pacify and tell you you're wrong. A lot of gaslighting happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, I just remembered this now. So a few months back, I was expressing frustration about my gas tank in the Jeep. Do you remember that? When I was saying that no matter what I did, I would put the nozzle in and it would not fill my tank.
Right.
Like
it would just, the automatic shut off would shut off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't have it on and pressed
But even if you're just holding it.
Yes,
yeah.
it would shut off.
Yeah.
Every 25 cents worth.
Oh, my
that's
gosh.
not going to get me anywhere,
I'm
right?
Be there all day filling your car.
10 cents worth.
Yeah.
So my husband, he's like, just ask him about it when you take it to get your oil changed the next time. And I rolled my eyes and I'm like, great.
Oh, great.
Like, do you know how this is going to go? Right? Like, I was annoyed that it was like,
you're leaving this to be my responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you've experienced this too.
Yeah.
And if you go to the dealership and say, hey, this is a problem, people are going to respond to that in a different manner than as if I went in.
For sure.
As a woman and well, clearly you must be doing something wrong.
Right.
Right. You don't know how to fill your gas tank.
Right.
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 Like that type
you
of
shouldn't
feeling.
have a license.
That
you don't know how to fill your gas tank.
You know what? Once that gas tank is empty, you should just stop driving. I do have to say that at the dealership that I take it to, I was so embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
I was so embarrassed to be saying this, and they continued to ask me more and more questions, and I'm like, I'm just telling you my experience. Like, this is what happens It has been happening for a really long time. It happens to more than just me, right? This is my experience. I don't know what the solution is. I'm relying on you for that.
Yeah.
Right. So then I go into their customer service area and I'm working and waiting for
your turn.
Yeah. And the gentleman who came out and asked me some more questions.
Oh gosh.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. He was kind.
Right.
He was absolutely kind. I did not feel as if he was like,
this is the guy who comes to tell me I don't know how to fill my gas tank.
Yeah. I didn't feel that way.
Okay.
And then he leaves again. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. And he comes back with some paperwork that he had printed. And he's like, so I can't find anything about, the issue that you're saying on the manufacturer stuff. However, I have found a couple of different websites where people were complaining about this.
Like chat
sites. Like just consumer types
anybody have this problem?
Yes.
And then people weigh in.
Yes. So here's the answer.
Oh.
It's so ridiculous that I have to do this. And I feel like a fool every time now.
Oh, no.
Something happens with the gas, not the fluid gas, but the fumes.
Oh.
And it stops it. Like it backs it up and it stops the flow of fuel. However,
it's a safety shut off
at the pump. It is. However, if you turn the nozzle
upside down.
Yes. So I have to turn the fucking nozzle upside down in my gas tank, and then I have to hold.
Like you're trying to get every last drop out of the hose.
Which I do anyway.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
As long as it's upside down.
But I have to hold it that way the whole time that it's filling. And it works.
That's a shoulder workout.
It's going to be fucking cold.
Yeah, it is.
In the winter.
Yeah. And
here I'm going to be sitting holding this freaking nozzle and hose up above my head.
I'm sorry.
While people...
I'm picturing this.
Nobody else has to do that.
Right.
At the gas pump.
Right, because there's something wrong with the design of the gas tank.
So I'm already projecting...
fuselage or whatever it's called. Yeah.
I'm projecting as to how this is going to go in the wintertime already. And
You're
I'm already
get frozen with your arm above
I'm already
your head.
embarrassed by it. But I have to say that the gentleman was so kind and helpful.
He gave you a good workaround.
Yeah. Like I probably would have looked at me like, are you sure? Like, are you sure you're not doing something? But he was very, very kind.
User error?
That. How many times have you tried to do this?
Right.
So it doesn't happen all of the time.
It doesn't.
Definitely not.
It doesn't. But I have had probably, I'm 52. So if I were to say if I had at least 5 stories like this, 5 sounds like a lot, but it's over, 40.
A long time.
35 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It just, it's just really frustrating. And I expect that while I'm frozen in place, holding the nozzle and
over
the
your
hose
head
above me, because I'm a freaking woman doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
people
I'm
are
probably
gonna think.
look like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Do you not know how to do this?
If you just put it in like this, right? And then it would work if somebody came over and showed you.
Of course it would. Yeah. Of course. It absolutely would. I don't think, though, that this is specific to only automotive, though, either. I feel like, in my experience, I don't know, I'll bucket it into, well, you said guy's world, right? Like, I'm entering guy's world right now, so, I have to manage myself in a different way. But a lot of times trades, right? Repair people, those types of situations also kind of create that level of, okay, so you don't really know what you're talking about. So
like when you start giggling about the flux capacitor that's broke on your furnace like that.
So where's the man of the house?
Right. Yeah, I probably don't help myself a whole lot when I do things like that. Make jokes about my flux capacitor.
Do you even know where the air conditioning unit is?
Well, yeah, I do. But this is the furnace that's broke.
Behind the freezer?
I don't know that I've had a lot of trades come in. I mean, I did have somebody put a new furnace in, and I mean, I've had some work done. I had a plumber who was a cousin's husband, so I felt like, you know, whatever he said
familiar.
was, yeah, right. Yeah. My husband's an electrician. But whenever we've had, like we had a driveway and a patio poured this summer. We had a retaining wall done a couple summers ago. And my husband does not include me in the conversations when they come to bid the job. It makes me so crazy. It makes me like out of this world crazy.
Man's world, man's world.
That's exactly it. That is exactly how it feels.
It reminds me of Wayne's World.
Don't worry.
Wayne's World, Wayne's World.
It's kind of like that. Don't worry your pretty little head. We'll figure it out.
I got this.
But I have very specific things that I want done.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't think they're important, but they're important to me.
So is he trying to mitigate that? Like, you're embarrassing me. This isn't that important.
Maybe.
We'll just handle it.
Maybe so. Maybe so. So when we had the retaining wall done, we were having some trouble with water coming in the basement. It was coming up from the floor. It wasn't coming in the walls of our basement. It was bubbling up from the floor.
Uh-huh.
So we were getting water too close to the foundation, and it wasn't draining away from the house.
Yeah.
And then it would come up through the concrete floor. So when I went out back, and it was only in one section, I went out in our backyard where this particular area is, and I could see just by looking at it that the yard was pitched into the house. Like, well, we just need to fill this in. So as long as they're in here, they're bringing fill in to do the retaining wall project. Let's just regrade this back part of our house, and that will fix our water problems.
Right.
Well, my husband thought that it was a gutter problem, that the gutters were full and it wasn't draining properly. That was also true. But it shouldn't be draining into the house, right? So even if they're full, we should still have enough of a pitch for it to run off. So they walk around the whole yard, they bid the whole project, they've got it figured out. And turns out these are people that he knew from high school. So they have a beer in the garage.
Sure.
And now I realize that they're here.
Oh.
And I'm like, hey.
So they did all of
that,
and you
all of it.
Even know.
I didn't even know they were there. I was working. I was in the house working. I didn't know they had showed up. So now I realize they're there, and I'm like, so, about this project. Yeah, we've got it figured out. Do you know? Really? What are we doing about the grading problem in the backyard? What grading problem? Exactly.
Right.
You don't have shit figured out. Get back there and let's talk about the rest of the project.
That was just day one.
Right. I probably emasculated my husband. That was not my intent. But don't leave me out of conversations just because I don't have a certain body part.
Right.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Very frustrating. And because he really doesn't think it's a big deal. Like, if I go to the dealership or you go to the dealership, it's the same conversation.
It's not, though.
It isn't. And when I give him examples of, like, when I had my tires rotated, right? Like,
that's a really prime example.
Exactly. Well, he thinks I'm exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. That literally happened.
It's because it's not his experience.
That is exactly it.
It's all about perception.
Right.
If I've never experienced this,
then it can't really be that bad.
Exactly.
I wouldn't treat somebody like that.
Right.
I'm sure they don't treat somebody like that. Part of the problem also is that he has always taken his vehicle to a local place in the town where we live. His ex-wife works there, and this is the place to go.
Yeah.
They do good work, and they don't take advantage of people. And they stand.
And they know you.
And they know him. Right. They stand behind their work. His ex-wife has worked there since forever, since high school. I mean, really forever. So he's always had a reliable person to go to. They would never treat someone like that. Well, not everybody is them.
Yeah.
I do remember one time I went to, I had an older car, the alternator went out on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that when you have a part replaced, you're supposed to ask for the old one, because sometimes they do well, we fixed it, and they really didn't.
Oh.
So then you drive away, and the next day you go to start your car and the same problem. So I asked to see the old part,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure they did in fact
Mm-hmm.
replace it. And he's like, well, what do you want that for? And I said, well, because I just want to see it. Well, you don't need to see that. I said, well, I do. I want to know, was it a new part that you put in or an old part? Like, I just want to know. Listen, lady, I would not ever replace any part with a used part, ever. I wouldn't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. So, okay, great. Then let me just see it.
Right.
Well, we went back and forth. We're both getting angry. He finally brings out the box. On the box, it says refurbished. That's a used part.
Oh, boy.
You charged me for a new part.
New one.
But you put in a used part. I was beyond angry. I said, if I could have you take that part out and put the old one in, I would just give me my old car back. Like, I was so angry. You lied to me. When I asked you to see the part, you wouldn't. Like, all you had to say was, well, we use refurbished. I would have been okay with that.
Right.
As long as it's going to work, I don't care. How long do you stand? Like, is there a warranty? Do you stand behind your work? We could have had that conversation. Are you going to charge me
a little bit less because it's refurbished?
It was an old car.
It
was an old car. I mean, I didn't need a brand new part.
Right.
It's
as
an
long
old
as
car.
It works, who fucking cares?
Exactly.
But don't charge me for a new part when you gave me a refurbished part.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and now as we're talking, I called him after he already had my car, and I said, I found a used part at a junkyard. I can go pick it up and drop it off, and you can put that in. I would never use a used part like that. Never. That goes against everything that I stand. Oh, really? But you use refurbished. It's the same gosh darn thing. I was in my 20s when that happened. I just felt like, really, you're taking advantage of me because I'm young and I'm a female. Yeah. This is not okay.
It just is a very unsafe type of situation. In unsafe from the perspective of feeling like you're going to be taken advantage of.
Yes. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Gosh, I've had a handful of situations like that. And it leads me to not want to go, not take care of things like I should, because I just don't want that.
You don't want to deal with it.
I don't want the confrontation. I don't want to have to be bitchy. I don't want to have to, I just don't want to. I just don't.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And I feel like I shouldn't have to. And then I get stuck in a should. Then I'm stuck.
So every time we have a situation where we need to have a repair person come in or schedule somebody to come in and to fix something or whatever, I back myself out of it. I won't do it.
Not my job. Not it.
Right.
Yeah.
So Scott just has to be that person. And, if the person needs to have somebody there, I work from home. So I'm the person
I
who's
can let you in, but that's all I can do.
Don't ask me any questions. I'm going to refer you right back out to Scott because I'm not going to answer your questions. You're going to have more questions than I have answers to.
Sure.
And then I'm going to have to refer you back to Scott anyway.
Right.
So really, I can open the door and I can show you where it is.
Right.
But beyond that, you're
That's
on your
all I
own,
can do.
sucker. Like, if you got more questions than that, you better go talk to him.
Yeah, better wait for him to show up because I can't do it.
That's right. It's just so infuriating. Like, I don't know.
Right. I was one time, again, a car dealer. It wasn't a dealer. It was a repair place. And so this was after the whole alternator, I won't use used parts thing. I found some other place to go. It was probably a different car. It could have been the same car. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm standing in line waiting to pick my car up. The guy in front of me, they are explaining everything. I mean, really, in detail. They take him out to the shop and show him whatever they show him. They come back and it's like, oh, this is a good place. I'm so glad I came here. I
will have no idea what I'm looking at, but I'm going to look long and hard.
That. And I'll learn a little something, right?
Yeah.
And this is great. More information. I love that. so excited for it to be my turn to pay for my car repairs. My turn comes and he says, oh, it'll be $500 and whatever dollars. I said, okay, well, what was wrong with my car? Oh, is the thing up in the front. We fixed it. We're good. Yeah, you're good. It's good. We drove it, test drove it. It's good.
You can make the checkout too.
Yeah. And I said, but what was wrong? What was wrong with it? Well, I just told you it was this thing and, but it's fixed. We fixed it. Well, what's the thing? So he told me what the part was. Well, are you going to show me? Are you how come the other guy in front of me got the whole treatment and I get it's just a thing. Don't worry your pretty little head. Write a check.
Right.
I want to see. I want to learn. I want to know what was wrong with my car.
Right.
He rolled his eyes, walked me out to show me what it was, and back in he's like, so now it's $500 and blah, 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 blah. You didn't treat that guy like that. Why are you treating me that way?
Yeah. That's a really bad experience.
I never went back there either.
Sorry, I can imagine.
And I felt like they did a good job. They did actually fix what they were supposed to fix, but what the heck?
It's a respect aspect.
Yes. Fast forward a bunch of more years and I'm getting my oil changed again. Not at a dealership. This is at a quick
Jiffy Lube or whatever.
Yeah. And by this point, I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle between I should know whatever my car needs and why do I have to know? I'm not the subject matter expert here. So I'm taking it to a Jiffy Lube place. This is literally the only thing you do here.
Right.
I shouldn't have to know a gosh darn thing. That's why I came here.
Right.
So pull in. The guy says, okay, yep, we can change your oil. What kind of oil do you want? And he'd already taken the little sticker out of the window. What kind of oil do you want in your car? I said, listen, do I really look like the kind of girl who knows what kind of oil goes in this thing? Do I really?
Well,
and he chuckled.
You're probably at this point just fucking done.
I was.
With all of this crap.
I was. So
are you setting me up here?
So I tried being bitchy. That didn't work.
Right.
I knew what I knew. It might not have been a lot, but I knew what I knew, and that didn't work.
Right.
Now I'm gonna do the damsel in distress. I don't know.
Right.
I said, listen.
Do you want me to pop the trunk?
Not quite that bad, but close.
Wait, let me find that.
I have struggled to find the good latch. That's not relevant. It's dark under there.
It is.
I can only see so far. So,
I can't get my fingers in to get that little safety lever.
Oh, yeah. I always have to look.
Yeah.
So I said, do I look like the kind of girl who would know the answer to that question? I said, now, if you asked me what my cousin wore to her parents' 25th wedding anniversary 5 years ago, I got an answer for that. What kind of oil goes in my car? I don't know. That's your job. Why would I know that? And he just kind of chuckled. Thank you. Just put oil in my car.
Do the thing.
Yeah.
Done and done.
Right. So I've gone from damsel in distress to I know what I know, and I know you're not doing it right.
Right.
You're not taking advantage of me, gosh darn it.
Right.
And neither one of them are particularly great.
No.
Right?
It's not.
It isn't. No.
It's not.
I had another car, the skid plate kept falling off.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was so frustrating because every time I took it in, they told me they fixed it, and I would drive 2 miles down the road and it wasn't fixed. Till I finally just stopped taking it in, and it burned a big hole because it was dragging, burned a big hole in the skid plate. So that's not great.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a car once that the horn would start going off all by itself.
Oh, no. You had a short somewhere.
I'm driving down the highway and the horn is blaring. So
that's not embarrassing
at all.
Everyone flipped you off that day.
So I had to get off of the expressway and go to a gas station that happened to be a truck stop gas station. After work, in my cute little business clothes, trying to figure out why my horn is continuing to constantly blow.
Excuse me? Somebody? Anybody with some tools?
I did not do that. Because I was a little like, well, first I was embarrassed.
Of course.
Because
it's
like,
loud. It's obnoxious.
Here I am.
Yeah.
Right. And secondly, I was a little nervous. Like I was by myself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like,
You weren't in the hood, but still.
No. And everybody was looking.
Of course they were.
I don't even know what ultimately happened with that, but I can't even remember.
Just unplug it? I don't know. How does that work?
How do you unplug a horn?
I have no idea.
I think I beat on the steering
till
wheel
it stopped.
enough. And I'm like, good, glad that's over. And then I drove away.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Terrible.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of shit that happens
It
to me.
is. Yeah.
Whatever. I
Same.
have to turn my gas nozzle upside down to
Yeah, I've never had to do that.
beating on my horn.
No.
For real.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't really know what the answer is. Now I got married and my husband takes care of it. Whatever it is with the car, with the furnace, whatever it is, that is your job.
Yeah.
If I have to clean the damn bathroom every week, then the rest of this stuff is yours.
I think it probably took about 7 or 8 years for us to get to the point where he just doesn't even like ask me to speak to any repair types of people.
This is not her thing.
Except for my Jeep. I handle all the stuff.
You do.
With the Jeep. I don't really understand why, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I just handle it. And for the most part, knock on wood, like I don't have issues.
Reliable.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, like it was kind of a fight. Like, no, listen, this falls out of the category of things that I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. But I'm not sorry at all. This is your job.
Do we have time for a story?
Sure.
We do. So it reminds me, when we moved to our house, where we live now, we inherited chickens.
Oh yeah, Chester
the rooster.
Oh, that's not what your dad called him.
No, that's because that rooster would get after you in a whole heartbeat. So he was, Chester.
Yeah,
and whatever rhymes with Chester.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there was like 3 or 4 hens and then Chester.
Yeah,
the rooster.
The rooster. You almost said it.
I did. So at night, they would go into the hen house and you'd close the door and everything would be fine. That night, Scott was working late. It was dark. It was like autumn time. And Chester was dead on the floor of the hen house.
Oh, no. What happened to Chester?
I don't know. Perhaps he got too molesty. I'm not sure.
A little too frisky and someone let him have it?
Maybe.
Or his heart gave out?
Well, all of the hens were roosting really quietly that night. Like, shh, here she comes. Don't tell her.
Oh.
So it was dark. It was cold.
Oh, no.
The rooster was dead.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing nobody was going to do. So I closed the chicken coop door.
Yeah.
And I texted Scott and said, so
Chester's dead.
Chester's dead.
He's waiting for you.
Kind of. And he was so mad at me because I left the dead rooster in the hen house. He's like, well, take it out. I'm like, no.
No, you take it out.
I'm not taking that out. And we got into this enormous fight. A text fight on top of it, which is never good.
No.
And I just fucking refused. Like, listen.
I got married for a reason.
There are lines.
This is one of them.
Yes. Yeah. This falls into the category of, I ain't fucking doing it. And I don't know how long he's been dead in there. Those chickens did not seem to mind. I think they actually
yeah, they might have had enough of his shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm done with you.
That's right. Like they were fine. And that rooster, that can wait for you for in the morning.
Yeah. It'll be cold tonight. He'll keep.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So that falls into the rooster bucket. Like, I'm just not doing it.
Not doing it.
There's a lot of things I will do.
Yes.
That's not one of them.
We had a chipmunk problem in our house.
Yeah.
We had a couple of cats, caught chipmunks. Turned out they had crawled up behind the siding and chewed a hole into our house.
They're like
They're
really
wily.
fierce.
Yeah, they are.
I call them like the gangs of New York.
Yeah, they are.
They're fierce.
They are
Those little
fierce.
fucking chippies.
Yeah, they're cute in the yard till they get too close to the house.
Yes.
They're not so cute
No.
anymore. It was like, I don't know, $5,000. No, it was more than that.
That's not cute.
No. It was a lot of money. So to fix the problem. Anyway, I'm home by myself. I'm working. Josh had already texted me when he got to work much earlier than I start, that he found a chipmunk in the house, dead chipmunk.
Oh.
And it's like, well, whew, good thing that's taken care of. So I'm working. I'm having computer problems that day. I'm on the phone with IT guy, and he's doing whatever he's doing, remoted into my computer, and I hear all this noise, and I think it's the cats are mixing it up again like they do.
Yeah.
And I was just about to hit mute on my phone and yell at them to knock it off. And one of the cats comes running in the living room where I was, and he's got a chipmunk in his mouth.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Not real happy.
I would lose my mind.
Yeah, I did not actually hit mute because I was in the midst of, like, I was headed towards mute, but I didn't get there all the way. And I just yelled out, "Oh, shit!" The computer guy thinks there's something wrong with my computer, right? Because I'm reacting to whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, "What happened? What's wrong? What's wrong?" It's not you. I've got a chipmunk, a dead chipmunk, the cat. I gotta go. Well, and I'm carrying my phone around. Like, why didn't I just set my phone down? I said, do whatever you have to do on my computer. But I'm still carrying my phone around.
Oh, no.
As I'm trying to find something. First of all, the cat has run off with the chipmunk.
Is the chipmunk dead?
It's dead.
Oh, thank God.
I can tell it's dead. It's not moving around in his mouth. It's not like dripping blood, but it's definitely not moving.
Well, they shake him.
Well, I think he'd already done that.
Okay.
I didn't find...
break his neck or
yes,
whatever.
right.
Mm-hmm.
It was not moving. So I was pretty sure that it was dead. But when I stood up, the cat got scared and ran off. Well, I don't want him hiding it somewhere.
Right.
And then we have to smell it,
God.
And find it that way. So I'm yelling at the cat. I'm like running through the house with this phone. So the IT guy's still on the line. Now I have to figure out so the cat dropped the chipmunk. Okay. I know where the chipmunk is, but now I have to figure out how I'm going to pick it up without touching it.
Gross.
So I run in the garage and I get my husband's big leather work gloves, and I come back out and I still have the phone because I'm not thinking
it's
clearly,
just part
right?
Of you at this point.
Right. And I'm yelling. I said, "Do you remember when I said I got married? Do you remember that?" I'm talking to the IT guy now. This is one of the reasons why I got married. I am the only non-hunter in my house. Everyone else I live with hunts. And who's left to pick up the chipmunk? That would be me. And I have to do it because I'm not going to have the cat drag this thing around.
No.
Right. So there's a bucket, ice cream bucket or something I found in the garage. I put it in there, put the lid on it, set it outside, closed the garage door. That was the end of that.
Oh my gosh. I was nervous
until my husband got
alive.
home. No, it was not. It was not alive. It was definitely dead. Then my husband got home, and I had texted him and said, "You have a problem. The chipmunk is waiting for you in the driveway." He's like, "Well, just throw it away." I am not.
Right.
I already had to touch it. I am not doing it again. I put gloves on. I'm not.
This falls in the category. I'm not fucking doing
it.
Right.
So he comes home and he says, "Well, thanks a lot for putting it in the sun in a plastic bucket with the lid on. That was pleasant." I didn't want another critter coming up and, doing something with the thing. It needed to just be, it was sealed up.
Happening.
You could have threw the whole bucket away. I don't know. That's not my department.
Right.
Not doing it. Not doing it. Well, next time, just toss it in the garbage can. Next time, you'll be home to take care of it.
Right.
Next time, there's going to be another next time.
Right.
No, there isn't.
No gangs of New York
No.
in my house.
No. Next time. Get out of here.
They are wily.
They are.
Thank goodness that the cat killed it, because I was afraid that you were going to say it was still alive.
No, they actually got 3 of them. Yeah. We fixed the problem, thankfully.
Goodness.
Hopefully it's fixed. But anyway.
Girl, that was a lot of rambling about things we will and will not do.
Well, sometimes.
Or shouldn't have to do.
Yes,
or,
it's that.
Yes.
Could I have tossed it in the garbage or somewhere else, wherever you toss dead animals? Sure, I could have done that, but I didn't get married to do that stuff.
I think I had it in my vows.
That you don't have to take care of dead animals?
Dead roosters. I'm not
disposing
of them.
A dead animal.
Right.
Yeah.
We're good.
I feel like that's true. Again, if I have to clean the bathroom every goddamn week, then you can take care of this.
So gross.
Yes.
Both of those things.
Absolutely. I don't know. I haven't figured out any real viable solutions. Sometimes being a damsel in distress works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes knowing everything that I need to know works, and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know.
I agree. I
don't know. I think you just have to have, people on
call.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
On speed dial that you can trust to do different things.
Yep. I agree with that. Specifically in that category. Mm-hmm. Repair people.
Yeah.
In general.
Right.
Anything mechanical.
Yes. Whether it's in your house or on your vehicle or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
People you can trust.
Agree.
I think that's the real answer.
Probably.
And keep looking till you find them. They're out there. There are good people out there.
Or educate the hell out of yourself before you go into it.
I did that. I even literally told them how to fix it. And I still had a skid plate dragging down the freeway. So that didn't work.
Well,
I don't know. Anyway.
All right.
I don't know that there's a real solution other than find people you can trust to do your work. Right?
Can't disagree with you.
Yeah. Or get a husband who just takes care of it. I guess. I don't know.
But be real fierce about it.
Heck yeah.
This isn't
a hard
rooster.
line.
This is in the rooster category, my friend.
Not doing it.
Fucking doing it.
Not doing it. Oh, let me check the category. Wait. Nope. Not doing it. Look at that. It says right here.
Right.
Not doing it.
I see, though, that you can grab a pitchfork and do it yourself.
You can do it. Do it your freaking self. That's what this category says.
That's right.
Great.
See, do it yourself.
Oh, look, this is another one of those do-it-yourself jobs. That's pretty funny. I wonder if that's in the Fair Play game.
Ooh.
With Eve Rodsky.
With the cards?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like that. That's like a joker.
Yeah.
It's like a skippo.
Yeah, right. Wild.
Right.
Wild card.
Right,
yeah.
right. Draw 4, asshole. And here's a reverse for you, too.
Pick 2 more, why don't you?
Oh, yeah. Good times.
All right. Well, on that note, we should wrap this up. Todd, Mind Garden Media, thank you so much for putting our podcast together. Doing a fabulous job. Not making it our job. Thanks for taking much. That. Yeah.
If we did that DIY.
Oh, it would not be good.
Yeah. That would be a disaster.
It
so thank you very much.
Thanks for doing that. And thanks to our listeners for tagging along, forwarding, sharing, commenting, all of that stuff.
Reaching out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely we do. If you have any ideas, if there are things you want us to talk about or check into or people you think we should talk to, we're all ears.
That's right.
Yeah. So let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you next time, friends.
Till next time.
Bye.
Toodaloo.